Hey gang, it's Ron from ITMasterKey.com, and my job is to help each and every one of you guys get certified. So today we're going to talk about, what do you really need? What's really necessary? Now, to get into IT, there's a bunch of different pathways. There's a bunch of different avenues. But what do you actually need, right? You go to one place and they say, hey, you need this. You go to another place and they say, hey, you need that. But it's hard to figure out, what do you actually need? So in this episode, I want to talk about why you need the fundamentals, right? I understand that in today's society, everybody wants everything right now. We don't want to work. We don't want to wait. We just want it to happen overnight. But that's just not how things work, right? And side note, if you hear things in the background, I'm outside doing things and just decided to stop and while I had this stream of consciousness and talk to you guys. So there's that. So if you hear shit in the background, that's what it is. The fundamentals, right? The fundamentals have to be present. If I didn't have the fundamentals in IT, I surely wouldn't be able to get so many students certified through the Certs IT Hero program. If I didn't have the fundamentals, you surely wouldn't be listening to this podcast. Let's get back to the basics. Is that okay? Let's get back to having a strong foundation, right? Let's go through the marathon instead of just focusing on the sprint. Going back to the fundamentals, right? So a lot of times, with different certifications and different things, people will say, no, don't worry about that. No, don't worry about this. And one of those that people say don't worry about covers, guess what? The fundamentals. And this ITF or IT fundamental certification has been the foundation that has solidified a lot of my students getting Security Plus. So you may be asking, what the hell does ITF Plus have to do with Security Plus? It's two different certifications. I heard ITF Plus was super easy, and I heard Security Plus was ridiculously hard. Now, if I'm getting ahead of myself, Security Plus is another certification that is geared towards cybersecurity, right? So, believe it or not, all of these people that say, man, ITF Plus is easy. ITF Plus is easy. IT Fundamentals is easy. I don't need that. You don't need that. Right? Go ahead and take Security Plus. But technically, you don't need a seatbelt in a car. Right? You don't need a seatbelt. You don't need airbags. Hell, you don't even need seats. But in the case of comfort or a crash, I'm pretty sure you want all of that stuff that's not needed to be in there, right? So education is a lifelong thing, right? For me, I learn something new every day. And it doesn't have to be from a peer. It doesn't have to be from somebody that may think that I'm further along in a race than they are, or somebody that's almost at the finish line. Wherever I can find information, wherever I can find useful information, let me put that in quotations, useful information, because there's a lot of information out there, but actual useful information to move forward. I try to get that from, whether it's the president or the janitor. Everybody has some type of wisdom right? The fundamentals, right? You have to have it, man. And what I found is whenever I try and learn a new skill, or whenever I have a new endeavor, I always want to know the fundamentals. There is no such thing as me being like, oh, this is condescending, or oh, this is too simple. Like, no, this is my first time doing it. So just to be sure that I'm covering all of my bases, let's go over the simple stuff. A review never hurt anybody. So let's review these things. Let's review the holes or the gaps in my knowledge. So if you 5 minutes in and you still haven't, got the question or got the answer, ITF Plus is definitely worth it. And, the rest of this video is going to be going over pretty much why I think it's worth it, why I have it, and why every one of my students gets that certification. And I'll go over a few other things too. So if that interests you, make sure that you like this podcast. If you listen on the podcast, make sure you share it. And one of the biggest things that you can do for me right now, again, if you're not going to become a student, at least review the podcast. Give it 50 stars or 5 stars or 4 stars, whatever the highest rating is. And, just give me some encouragement in those reviews to keep on dropping this content. Now back to the fundamentals. Literally, I wasn't a believer, right? In the fundamentals. When I first started my journey, I definitely just wanted to go for Security Plus and get the money, get the fame, get the glory, right? I didn't want to. But then when I started going through, any material or practice exams or any of that stuff, I kept on getting, stuff wrong, like really wrong, like not even being in the damn ballpark of what the answer was. I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and pump my brakes and go ahead and start at something a little bit simpler. Now, when I first started my journey, I'm almost positive that I don't think ITF Plus even existed. If it did, I had never heard of it, right? And I just knew the next step, or in my mind, the next step was A Plus, so that's where I started my journey. But if this was around and I had somebody that would have gave me any kind of tutelage or guidance and told me to take ITF Plus, I would have crushed, A Plus the first time I took it. So with the ITF Plus, like I said, the reason that I make all of my students take it, man, is because for my students, and the way that we got the Zero to Hero program set up, it is a real foundation builder. Like, it gives them a great foundation to build upon. So to build on the A Plus and then Net Plus and then Security Plus. And at one time, I wasn't a believer in the ITF Plus exam. Because when it first dropped and when I first got wind of it, it was not beneficial at all. It was just, to me, it was super easy and it was not worth it. And I even have a video, and I never took it down because I want to always be transparent and truthful. I had a video, an entire video telling people not to get the ITF Plus. You can see it on the Master IT channel. And then about 6 months to a year later, I doubled back and said, wait a minute, I was wrong. They changed it. It's definitely beneficial, right? And I don't know if it was because of me. I'm not going to say that that's why they changed it or updated it. But I think that the community as a whole probably thought, hey, this needs to be a little bit more challenging, right? Because I think what was happening was that ITF Plus was giving a lot of people a lot of false hope because they would crush ITF Plus and think, oh, yeah, I'm only ready for A Plus now. They would, go in there and get hung. So, but the ITF Plus goes over so many things, right? We got a little bit of coding on there, got a little cloud stuff on there, got a little database stuff on there, got a little server stuff on there, got a little bit of everything. And the ITF Plus, like I said, for my students in the Certs IT Hero program, they definitely benefit from it, from a knowledge standpoint, of course, but also from a confidence standpoint. You get that first win, and you feel like you can do it because I want to make sure that my guys and my girls are mentally prepared to take the exam because taking the exam, to be honest with you, it's not fun. Most education or school systems would be taught to fear exams, fear tests. So you already had that anxiety, you already had that ingrained in you, and then the exam itself isn't easy. The form in place, if you go to the testing center, if you're at home, it's still weird because somebody's watching you, right? So there's all that stuff. And then you still got to pass the damn test, right? So once a lot of my students get used to what the testing process is, and when I get that first W, it just starts a continuous cycle. And also, that I never tell them that's going to be easy. I tell them always they go, well, actually, because some, like I said, even some of my students just think I'm going through this stuff, it's really good, it should be easy. Like, hey, it's not easy, it's not easy. I believe in you, I like your confidence, but none of these exams are easy. You got to think about it, if they were easy, there'll be a lot more people certified, right? And wouldn't be as many empty job posts as there are. Like literally, you go to a lot of these job forums, and you will see all these jobs that are asking. You don't have to put in the job title; you just put in A+ jobs, Net+ jobs, and and the pay is going to pop up as well, right? And that's one of the things that I want to talk about as well. So ITF Plus is worth it. So it's going to land you a job, right? Not quite. So with ITF Plus, and I tell my students, it is not 2020. Nobody's going to be calling me like, ooh, you got the ITF Plus. Please come be our vice president or, whatever. It's more, like I said, to build that foundation, to build that confidence, and to build that knowledge base. And for my students in the Certs IT Hero program, we always upgrade and always tweaking just to make sure that we're giving our guys and our girls the best experience. Whenever we see little nuances or anytime somebody passed the exam, we would go back, okay, you followed this, you did this, you did that, like great. And then we'd always build upon anything that was lacking. We would always try to go in there to give the student the best experience so they can learn something and get certified, at the same time. But going back to the students, ITF Plus was always the first exam. Well, nowadays, before it was A+, and like I said, I wasn't a believer. But once they amped it back up and put this new stuff in there, it's like, okay, I think it's the right way to go. And, back to the employment piece. This isn't the certification that's going to get you the job, right? But it's going to spark the brain that's going to get you the job, right? Because as you learn the ITF Plus stuff, as you continue to go in this program, you only level up and evolve. And the very next step, or at least for my guys and my girls, is a certification that's going to lead to employment. So they have ITF Plus, feel real good about that, and then jump into A+, crush that, then you can start applying for jobs, right? Because in my mind, education is never a waste. If you learn something, it wasn't a waste of money. It wasn't a waste of time. And that's another thing. Even if you're not in my program, I would still, say, go ahead and try it out just to see. I can't speak for the other exams, but I want to say ITF Plus is maybe $100, $150. I don't know how much you believe in yourself. I don't know how much you want to invest into your future, but that is, a good barometer, a good way where you go ahead and go knock that exam off. And see how you feel, start studying for it, see if you like it. Spend 150, 100, however much it is, on something that could potentially get you into an industry that can change your life, right? We may not know about a lot of things, but we do know that tech is going to be around for as long as we're around, right? So, if you're looking for a quick, easy fix and short-term wins, you can do other things. But if I was you guys, if I could do it over again, I would start my journey today, right? Depending on when this drop, it's either almost the new year or we're in the regular year. So don't bring the same excuses, the same issues that you had in 2022 to 2023, right? You want to make sure that you've upgraded. You kind of make sure that you're not doing the same stuff, making the same mistakes. If you said in January that you were going to get certified, and it's literally 365 days later, a whole year later, and you ain't even started studying, it should kind of show you that how fast time is going by, right? And how you literally don't have the time. You literally don't have the time. Trust me, you're going to look up and it's going to be 20 years. 20 years going to be in the past, and you still going to be like, oh, I should have enrolled in the Zero to IT Hero program, and by then, I'm going to be a billionaire on a yacht somewhere. It's going to be over with, right? You took too long. So, if you don't do nothing else, you can at least start, right? And hey, let's say that you start studying and you start trying to look into tech stuff, and it's not for you. Then, at least you tried, right? What if you look into the stuff and you do like it? What if you look into the stuff and you don't really like it? You don't really care for it too much, but you find out that it pays pretty well and it rewards people who continue to level up, continue to execute, continue to do the things they need to do. And instead of looking for your lifelong passion, you just get certified and go get you some money. What if that happened, right? But just like with anything else, most of the people that are listening to my voice right now are going to do one thing and one thing only. You know what that is? Jack shit. Nothing at all, right? They'll just wait, maybe get pumped up, but then the baby start crying. Oh, damn, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Or they run late for work. Oh, see, listen to that. I could have, got some overtime. This life happens, right? Life happens, and your dreams or your goals become dreams, right? Because, dreams are just goals without a deadline. And goals are the reverse. Because anything that you want to make happen, you can make happen. But it's going to be hard as hell, though. So, fundamentally, you need to be sound. You need to have a strong base to be built upon. So if you're looking to get into IT, I would suggest starting with ITF Plus. And also, make sure that you latch on to anybody that's going in a direction that you're going in, and try to provide them with some kind of value. Lead with value. What can you do for them, right? You should be dishing out way more than what you're asking. So you already know I said it a couple of times. If you want to expedite your time, if you want to not only gain the ITF Plus, but 3 of the most popular certifications in the industry on any job board in the next 90 days, you can head over to itmasterkey.com and apply. Now, I do want to leave you guys with something to ponder. And it's pretty much been the theme of, this entire podcast. Make sure that you fundamentally, I can't say the word, is everything okay? I think so. Let's try it again. Make sure that you're fundamentally sound in all areas. Make sure that you're sound in mind. Make sure that you're sound in body, right? The mind piece, read something, keep yourself sharp, solve problems, bada boom, bada bing. The body, eat a halfway good diet, stand up and down a few times a day, walk around, work out, get your blood pumping. And one of the last pieces is to be fundamentally, I can't figure out how to tie it in. You gotta have skills, right? You gotta have some good skills. You gotta have skills and fundamental. I don't know, whatever. So you gotta have skills, right? Skills that allow you to grow and not atrophy, right? You don't want to atrophy to the point to where things are so far gone. Things are, oh man, that reminds me of a story. Throughout the years, I've ran into, a few people that I'm the instructor. I'm the subject matter expert. I'm the guy. And me knowing as much as I do, some people can't wrap their head around my age, right? How is this guy younger than me and he know all this stuff, right? So a lot of times they will be bringing up stuff that I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Because, they used to. And I wanted to. These type of people. Talking about computers and stuff that came out in the 70s and 80s, right? It's cool that you know the history. It's cool that you know who made it. But don't nobody care about that when their internet isn't working, right? Nobody cares about that when their whole website gets shut down. Nobody cares about that when their network is being attacked, right? You got to be able to actually execute, right? You got to have the skills. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to have the credentials. Master IT. You got to have everything in your toolkit to do what you need to do, right? Just make sure that you guys are trying to get, at least 1% better every day, right? We all have our flaws. We all have our issues. But, if you are striving to get better, I commend you, right? And just keep on fighting the good fight. So, as always, gang, share this with anybody who can benefit. If you're looking to training, go ahead and head over to itmasterkey.com. And other than that, I'll see you in class.